Yes, yes, yes. 1 2 1 2. Awesome. Check it out. Yo. Uh, uh, This is Claude for work. All right. Awesome. Wow, I'm super excited. I love the live session Fridays. It's not every Friday anymore because sometimes it's a bit tough. But if you have good topics, I can do it more often. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. You can see me. You can feel me. All right. All right. In the chat, let us know if you can hear me, feel me, see me. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Awesome. This is gonna get busy hopefully today because it's a big topic. I'll just go back a sec here because it's Claude for work from basic skills to full-on business automation today, now live with me, Tim Cakir, founder of AI Operator, and Claude, one of my best friends, one of my best buddies. Sorry, chat. Right, ChatGPT is listening in and is upset. It's right to be upset because Claude is very powerful, and you'll see what I mean in a second. All right, we have a busy agenda. We're gonna do some magic, some Claude magic. I want to make sure that you're all here. Everybody's ready. Everybody's joining in. All right, let's make sure that you're commenting. Say hello and say where you're connecting from. We'd love to hear from you. Let's see. Let me make sure that I can see the LinkedIn stuff. Awesome. Yes, I'm getting some claps. All right, we have a bunch of people joining. That's perfect. Invite your friends, your colleagues. This is Claude for work, because Claude is very, very, very powerful, right? If you have any Claude questions, you want to see something about Claude, this is the session for that. One thing to remember: all these sessions are pure raw, pure live, pure me, and whatever AI tool I'm using, or things like that, right? So don't hesitate to bring questions. Don't hesitate to bring use cases that you want me to try. Don't hesitate to bring, whatever you have in mind. We're here for that, right? We're putting some topics into each of the sessions, but I'm open to whatever you want, right? Okay, awesome. So Claude, right? Who uses Claude, first of all, right? Let us know in the chat if you're using Claude, or if you're like, no, I don't like Claude, I'm a ChatGPT guy, or I'm a Copilot guy. Hopefully you're not a Copilot guy, right? So tell us if you're a Claude guy, a ChatGPT guy, girl. What else? Gemini got huge, right? What was it? About 3 days ago, Gemini got really huge. It was exciting to see what happened to Gemini. Gemini 3 Pro is a very good model. It's a very exciting model, by the way, right? I'm super excited about that model. Yeah. But also, yeah. All right. Nice to see Andre. Hey, buddy. Good to see you again. Oh, Andre's back for more. That means he's got a good value last time. He's back for more. That's awesome. Nice to see you, buddy. Right. Yeah. We like people coming back in and so on. And come, as I said, come with your problems, come with your challenges, come with whatever you have in mind. You ask them, right? Usually we charge $12.50 an hour, $1,250 an hour. This is your free hour. This is free of me for you guys, right? So just come and ask questions and take that, take that consulting for free, that coaching for free, right? How cool is that? But what else can I do? Wild, right? Amazing. So Andre and anybody else, let us know. Do you use Claude? Do you love Claude? What do you like about Claude? What you don't like about Claude? Let us know in the comments, because it helps other people learn from each other as well, right? That's very important. So I'll share my screen now so that we can do some Claude magic, right? And I'll tell you why I use Claude and why I don't use Claude, when, and stuff like that, right? Because I'm sure that's what people want to know about. So Claude is obviously by Anthropic. Anthropic is OpenAI's, I believe, biggest competitor. I know Gemini is huge, Google is huge, and so on. But I believe that Claude and ChatGPT, or Anthropic and OpenAI, they're kind of the two big research labs in this space doing some really cool stuff, right? Of course, everybody else is doing cool stuff as well. Don't get me wrong, but I think that OpenAI and Anthropic kind of pushes each other. The products are very similar. They both have incredible foundational models, right? So they are very, very exciting, exciting competition, because if ChatGPT comes with a new feature, you know that Claude is going to kind of follow with that feature somehow, and then vice versa, and that really excites me. I think that one of the most exciting thing in this market at the moment, it's this competition, right? Because it's pushing innovation faster than ever. And I know that a lot of people are scared about it and so on, but I take the love not fear approach, right? Love not fear. So what do? I love this competition. I love AI. I love all that stuff, and I hope you do as well. And if you don't, talk to me, because I'll make sure you do. Right. So cool. So Claude, we understand it's the biggest competitor of ChatGPT. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into some of the features. I'm sure that you've heard some of these features. Maybe some of the features you don't use enough, right? So if you ever curious about a feature and you're like, hey, stop here, Tim, I need to know more about this or anything like that, please do stop me, right? It's perfectly fine. Okay. We're here for you. We're not here for me to sell. We're not here for me to market or anything like that. We're here for you. Okay. So I need to, all right, thank you very much. I have another demo screen, but luckily that got fixed now. Right. So Claude, can you see Claude? Yes. All right. So Claude is, I mean, in our training programs, I always tell as well, it's about 80-90% of the skills that you learn, even if we teach you ChatGPT, is transferable, right? Because Claude looks almost exactly like ChatGPT, right? And I'll tell you some of the different features, or what they're called and what they do and why one is better than the other, right? That's kind of what we want to understand today, right? So let's talk right away about how I use, how I use Claude. So I'll use Claude mainly for like, so let me tell you how I use Claude. This is a big question, right? Because I use all of them, and I use Claude when I want to do something a bit more systematic, right? Claude Sonnet 4.5, right? The model that we have here, which is 4.5, is an incredible model. It's a very, very smart model, right? Obviously, GPT 5.1 just came out, right? So when it was GPT 5, I think Sonnet 4.5 was still very, very powerful. GPT 5.1, I think it's a little bit better than 4.5 in a lot of things, but Sonnet 4.5 still better at writing, still better at more the human element. I think that they're focusing a lot, because if you know, Anthropic is kind of thinking, or they're going into the vision that AI, large language models, might be some entities, right? They might have some kind of a conscience one day, right? So their research lab is taking that approach, where OpenAI is not taking that approach, right? So, and because of that, you can really start feeling the difference of like Sonnet 4.5 being a bit more human kind of replies, a bit more fun, and so on. 5.1 brought that into ChatGPT, into GPT-5. 5.1 got better in that side, but I think that still Sonnet 4.5 is an incredible model, right? And I'll come to Sonnet 4.5 for systems thinking, right? And I'll come here to write things and so on. But I'll also, one thing very important for everybody is like, it's gonna become a habit to switch between models, to switch between things. And I know that it's okay to have one that you favorite for most tasks, right? But today in 2025, end of 2025, I still would say that it's good for everybody to kind of test all the different models, test the different tools, and so on. I know there's shiny toy syndrome, and they're all kind of similarish, but I think very important in your own work to understand what you like, right? And for what, right? So I come a lot to Sonnet 4.5. Haiku 4.5 is really, really good, especially if you're building automations. Then you could kind of use Haiku 4.5. There's also Claude for Chrome, which I could show you guys today as well, right? Because it's all a Claude day today, right? Haiku 4.5, incredible model, super fast, a bit a smaller model than Sonnet 4.5. If you have credits, if you're paying for the max plan, which I'm paying for the max plan, which is the 20x max plan, I have enough Sonnet 4.5 and so on. Opus 4.1 is incredible, but since Sonnet 4.5, I don't go to 4.1, so Opus 4.1 that much, but I know that we're getting Sonnet Opus 4.5 very soon, right? And that's going to be like boom, hello, right? So Gemini 3 came, GPT 5.1, GPT 5.1, Codex Max Ultra, whatever they just released for the Codex coding stuff, right? So we know that Opus 4.5 will come in very soon, right? And that's going to be super exciting things as well, right? So so Claude is very good at few things. I think they're artifacts, right? So this is called Canvas in ChatGPT, if you guys remember. So we do have similar thing in ChatGPT, but the thing that ChatGPT doesn't have that Claude has on the artifacts is in Claude artifacts, you can power your artifact, your mini web app, right? You can build applications. You can power it with AI as well. So features inside your artifact could have AI features. I'll show you what I mean about this, right? Where ChatGPT doesn't have that luxury, right? So you can't build on ChatGPT Canvas a mini web app, like a mini application, and have some AI features inside it to power that application. You still can't do that, right? But in Claude you can. In Claude artifacts you can, and I think that's a very important differentiator to think about, right? So let's say that we're maybe we just take one of the things here, right? Let's just take let me take something very quick for you guys to understand. Okay, AI platformer game. Let's see what is this, right? So this is an artifact, right? I've never opened this artifact, and I'll show you how to build your own artifacts, right? That's not a problem, but I'm just going to customize this artifact to kind of be quick with an idea first, right? So like in ChatGPT Canvas, which the ChatGPT Canvas on the right side, you get the canvas, you get the chat on the left. We get the same exact experience here. So it feels very, very familiar, right? Because I think there's no differentiators here whatsoever on that experience. Okay. So what happens is that on the left we have the chat, on the right we have the artifact, right? Or the canvas if you think about ChatGPT, right? And I think on Gemini is also called canvas or Canva, something like that, right? Canvas as well, I think, right? So as you can see, boom, we have a button. We can start the adventure. We have already choose theme, crystal cave, floating live, dreamscape. Let's just choose a few things. Choose level 1. Oh, okay. So generating your level. All right, generating my level. So what's happening in the background? This is what I meant. What's very incredible is that with artifacts of Claude, you can have Claude AI behind it to generate things. As you can see, boom, this just got generated, right? And we build a game. Oof, I keep losing. Oh, you can jump like that. That's cool. That's cool, right? So the whole level just got, by the way, just got created for us, right? Because the artifact has also some AI layer behind it, which is really cool. Right? Oh, I like this game actually. Right? Oh, all right, cool. Wow, I won 275 score. Who can beat me at this? Right? No, I'm just joking. We're not here for that. Right? But this is super cool. As I do next level, you can see that I can select, right? Let's say custom theme. All right, and let's write down our custom theme. Our custom theme should be Friday happy hour, right? Since it's Friday, it's happy hour time, right? It's generating my level. As you can see, what's happening is that I say something and the artifact has AI features behind it. It has some Claude model behind it that powers the application. This is incredible. We don't get this in ChatGPT, right? In ChatGPT, we can build this thing, but we can't get native AI features inside the app that we build, right? In Gemini, you can. Oh, that was really bad, right? Oh, this is a bit more difficult. Oh, yeah, because you see that red one. I don't know what happens, right? But this. Oh, here we go. That's fun. All right. So this is the artifact. Okay. So the artifact has a previewing, right? So this is the preview of the artifact. If not, you can get into the code of the artifact, right? If you're comfortable with code, you can switch to the code, which we have the same experience in ChatGPT, right? But what you'll see here is that it does have AI features. I don't know how I would kind of search for it. Let me see if I can search. Yeah, here we go. Window Claude complete. Okay, so that's not it, but I'm sure you could find some kind of API feature, or it's natively inside the artifacts, right? Because what you saw is generating new is actually there is AI inside the code that calls in the Claude model to power this artifact, right? So artifact could be games, could be mini tools, calculators, could be mini apps for internal things, right? So we don't imagine these things, but you can. So with artifacts, let's do that, right? And then we can talk about that. With artifacts, which we can do, what we can come to artifacts. We could do new artifacts, right? We're gonna start from scratch, okay? And I'm gonna kind of prepare a very quick little prompt here, right? Okay, and I'm gonna do build a sales follow-up app, right? So this is very custom to AI Operator on the 12-week AI First Mindset training program. So after every sales call, I should be able to come to this application, put the transcript, and maybe fill up a tiny bit of a form, what's the company and so on. And then it should kind of summarize the transcript into pain points and so on how I can sell our 12-week AI First Mindset training program to this company, right? And according to that, it should prepare like a strategy, follow-up strategy, a quick email, maybe some outline and some bullet points on how to customize my proposal, right? So as you can see, I just put that in there, right? And I've asked for a artifact to be built, right? And it's going to be a sales follow-up app, right? This is ridiculously incredible, right? Because we can basically build an app in a second, right? I potentially have to answer some of these questions because if not, it's not going to let me go through. So let me answer them. Great. Okay. So any question? What specific fields do you want in the form besides company name? I think you should decide on the App Store previous analysis so you can reference past calls, or is it a one-time use? It is a one-time use tool each time, sadly, because we're just using Claude artifacts, so you can't really have memory. Any specific tone? Yeah, it's very conversational. It's professional but friendly. I'm a professional, friendly person. I'm very conversational, no fluff, just straight to the point. It should definitely, use our references like the 75% adoption rate, the 5-step blueprint, and also our 12-week AI First Mindset training program and how we customize it for each client. Right. So I've answered those questions as well. All right. And now we're building the artifact. Okay. So hopefully now it's going to kick off, right? Output section. All right. It's telling me what it's going to do, hopefully. And it's going to start building. Sounds good. Let's just go sounds good, right? Sounds good. As you can see, the app use Claude API to analyze the transcript against AI Operator's methodology, generate personalized outputs, keep your tone direct, and so on, right? So now it's starting to build. You see it opened up the artifact. The artifact is a little box here, which we get the same thing in ChatGPT. The box gets bigger because the whole thing shows up in ChatGPT. Here, what's really cool is that it just keeps it as a tiny thing, tiny little box that you click on and opens on the right side. Okay. If you have any questions so far, or you want to see something different, please add it on the comments. I'm checking here on the side LinkedIn because sometimes comments come fast. On YouTube, if you have something as well, let us know. Hello. We saw something very quickly. As you can see, it understood that it had an error itself, which is ridiculous, right? So it built it. Right away, it said, "Oh shit, I have a little error," right? And so it took the build back and is fixing that, and it's rebuilding it without form elements. I'm going to open my window at the same time. All week, I didn't have allergies, and I think it's my office. I have this carpet. When I'm standing up, I think some dust mites or whatever just comes in. Right. So all right, somebody loves Claude. Only thing is that he doesn't like the limits. Well, yeah, that's why you pay the max plan, buddy, right? You pay $200 a month and then you have no limits, right? But you are a ChatGPT business team member, right? The one who's commented, which could be one of my team members, actually. All right, so here we go. AI operator sales follow-up tool, right? So this is wicked, right? And let's just try that. Let's just try it very quickly. All right, I'll try this for David because I know that I can use him. All right, contact title, he's a CEO. His industry is recruitment, right? Recruitment and management coaching. Yeah. Company size, I know they're quite small company. I said 10. They're AI maturity, I'll still call them beginner if that's okay, right? And I'll bring in a quick transcript now from a past call I had, just for you guys to see what it can do, right? Okay, so I have this transcript that I'm bringing in, all right, and I'm just going to drop that transcript, a full transcript, all right, and I filled out my form, okay, and then I'm going to generate a follow-up strategy, right? So as you can see, I've basically built a whole application in what, minute? A minute, right? So Gemini 3 Pro wasn't out when we had this scheduled, but I think one of the next sessions we should do in Gemini 3 Pro, because I could do the same thing in Gemini 3 Pro and build a whole complex app that potentially can even have, you know, image recognition and can have voice included right away. It's just ridiculous, right? But Claude is awesome as well. You'll see why it's awesome. So I built that, boom, here we go. So it took that and it went pain points, right? So that's perfect, right? We're getting team members' names. All right, he admits his ChatGPT wasn't properly configured. Need for scalable AI education. AI operator solution fit David's situation is ideal for AI operator's 12-week program. He runs multiple companies and specifically mentioned wanting systems and frameworks that can be used by all of the companies. Boom, right away, right? Take all 60 people. Here's 45,000 no demonstrate. He understands the ROI potential, follow-up strategies, send custom instructions, schedule demo, and drop follow-up email. And I even get the follow-up email here, right? Great session. Love seeing Emma taking notes and Ian's excited. This is awesome, right? This is really good as well. As probably I'm sending out the custom instruction GPT we mentioned, also attaching the e-signature workflow, since you mentioned moving everything over. The facilitated context will be much smoother. Your vision of creativity. This is awesome. This is awesome. And then proposal, customization notes, copy to clipboard. I can copy this, right, and just go to my email and do it. Potentially I can even continue building, right? This is very cool, right? And I didn't do much else, right? So I could come in here now. I could say, well, here's how we do deals, right? Here's our follow-up kind of strategy, you know, customize even further, right? So I can keep working with Claude to have this mini artifact to help me do sales follow-ups, right? Okay, yes, I could do custom GPT, I could create a project, I could do a lot of things, but here there is things that you can't do on the others. Is like that I could have multi-prompts, right? So behind it, in this code, right, I could have different prompts for different things like pain points, solution fits, follow-up strategies, email, proposal. Like I could have different things for different sections, and I could even have it in a way that the output of one goes to the other and so on, which you could do it on the chat, but that means that you're having the multi-turn conversation with Claude, right? But here you can kind of decide on the multi-turn conversation already and kind of hard code it in the back of Claude, in the back of the artifact, and let Claude use Claude to kind of help you generate these things. Right, this is awesome. I mean, imagine, return on investment calculators. Imagine this type of sales follow-up tools, proposal customizers, right? Whatever you do repetitive, that is a few prompts, and it's you on ChatGPT or on Claude, and you keep going multi-turn conversation and so on. Can you systematize this? Can you create a mini application, a mini tool for it? Yes, you can. You all can, not just me. You can with Claude, right? So this is ready. So I can publish this, by the way, right? Let's say I have a sales team. I publish this. I publish and copy link, right? And I drop it into anybody, and they can have access. And I can show you that, right? What I'll do is I'll make an incognito window a second, and then I'll show you that even an incognito window, I'll be able to open this up, right? And let me see. All right, let's replace this screen very quickly. Let me see if I can get the incognito browser. I think this is the incognito browser. Yes. All right. So this is an incognito browser. I just pasted that URL, that link, and as you can see, boom, I got this. I'm not even logged into Claude here. Content is user generated and I'm verified, right? So I can, even if I allow people, they can customize this, but I can basically share this with my sales team, right? So I give this to my sales team, and boom, my sales team can do this, right? This is wicked. Muge, hi, around the quality of video is very blurry, and I'm the only one. Yes, sadly, Muge, you might be one of the only ones. If your internet is not good, I would suggest just refreshing, right? Just refresh, come back, and you'll have hopefully a better vision. If LinkedIn is not being nice to you, we're also live on YouTube right now on AI X operator, right? So we have a YouTube channel as well, where in YouTube you can kind of decide better on the quality. LinkedIn is just, if your internet is good, it'll give you good good resolution, right? So, oh, okay, did I get kicked out of my screen sharing? This is starting. This does that. This does that sometimes. Here we go. We're back. Hopefully, are we back? No, I screen shared again. All right, because it's incognito window, it doesn't want to share it now. All right. Anyways, so you basically saw that I can do this thing, right? So I can share that mini application with publishing it and so on. And imagine, and you can even embed code now. This is new, by the way. You can get the embed code and embed this in an allowed domain. So you could basically embed this in your website. So you could wow, 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 wow. You know who you are here. We could build these mini things and embed them on our website, right? This is awesome. This is awesome. So great. So there's even embed code, right? And then you can even allow domains. You have an embed code. This is wicked. Like, this is brand new, by the way. So let's say that you did some changes. Here you get a button, right, to refresh your publishing, right? So that means that if you have the link, the people has the old version. If you want them to have the new version, you can update here, and if they refresh their URL or they access it, they'll have the new version. These are artifacts. These are super cool. You can do games, you can do sales things, so you can take it seriously, right? There's a lot you can do. You can also get to then the code itself, the TSX file, and then you can take it out of here. You can go to like a vibe coder like Replit or Lovable or Bolt, right? We've shown some of these already in some of the live sessions. If not, you can find them on my YouTube as well. And then you can continue this. You can prototype things here and then continue there. But you can also prototype things here and just use it for yourself, or use it with your team, right? Or with your colleagues or with friends and family, whatever, right? Because you get this link and you can share this, right? And as long as you have your artifact, you'll be able to share it, and you can continue customizing. It's just mind-blowing stuff, right? I think artifacts is super cool. And it's a bit cooler actually than ChatGPT, because ChatGPT Canvas, it's not its own section. It's like it's a chat thread that has a canvas, like an artifact, but you can't find all your canvases in one place. And they're not like mini apps, they're like more prototypes. And here I feel like they're a bit more like mini apps, right? Because if you go to my artifacts, I have a bunch of artifacts here. I have invoice processing web apps. I have AI journey session. Like, this is super cool. I literally built this live on a call, on a training call, because I was like, hey guys, I want to just understand how confident are you and so on. And I just came here and I said, can you quiz or survey? And I said, build a survey for a post session, blah blah blah. And I explained a little bit, and I gave it some of my colors, and then I got this whole thing that I could share during my call, right, during my training program, and people can select these things, right? And they could even get AI, as I mentioned in the beginning. What's cool about this is that you have AI inside the artifact, right? So it can kind of also help you do some of these things, right? Which is fucking, I shouldn't say that word. It's whatever, mind-blowing, right? It is absolutely mind-blowing. Here you go. This was the AI that did this, right? And then you can continue on this. You can have AI assist you with each of them if you want it, right? If you want to build that, or you can add some stuff and then click on AI assist, right? And then people could do this, and then they could get their results live on the call, right? So I dropped this to 90 people. 90 people were able to access it and do this little thing. And then I asked them to actually take a screen share and put it on the chat, right? It was really fun. We built it live. We did it live. It was awesome, right? Cool. What about taking this forward and build an A10 automation on top to automate the whole process, to get the transcript directly from the call and perhaps save info in drives and email? Yeah, absolutely. This is very easy stuff, Andre, right? This is what we do. Could be here on the call. He's on the chat, so if you have questions, he can answer. He does this for breakfast, like while he's having his toast. He's like, oh, let me just build an A10 automation, and he just does that, right? So that type of workflow in A10 is easy, but we also use Mind Studio. It's even easier in Mind Studio because you have AI blocks quicker. And A10 is very powerful. Zapier and Make.com. By the way, we have a Zapier session in 2 weeks, right? Joining the Zapier. Why are we doing Zapier? Because I think Zapier got really good again. So we're going to do a Zapier session in 2 weeks. And if you bring some of these use cases, we'll build it live for you, right? And then you can follow along. You can take the code or take the link or whatever we're going to have, and you could go build it yourself, right? Or you can ping us if you need it to be built, right? So there's a QR code somewhere, Zapier in action. This is in about 2 weeks, right? Bring your colleagues, friends, family, bring everybody, because that's going to be a very fun one as well, right? Okay. Cool. Lots of hearts, lots of smiles, lots of laughs. Andre, I hope that answers your question. But yeah, absolutely. Right. I have the code now of all these things, right? I can put it inside a block in an A10, inside the code block in an A10, and I can feed it things. I could have a front end. I could use an A10 as the back end. I could vibe code this in Replit and then connect it to webhooks with an A10 to do the job. There's so much that can be done, right? It's just ridiculous, right? It's what I think that the limitation now is really our creativity. It's not even our creativity. It's how can we communicate to AI what we want, and do we know what we want? Like, this is literally becoming the only limitation, right? There's absolutely the limitation. Cool. So that was artifacts, right? So we're cool with artifacts. Okay. Let's cover some other stuff. I know that we spend a lot of time on artifacts because artifacts is super wicked, right? You could do such really cool stuff. But Claude came with something quite magical that none of the other AI providers, or not providers, but AI apps has, right? Which is called Claude Skills. Okay. So what are large language models? They're non-deterministic, right? So they can kind of every time you ask a question, you get a different answer, right? Even if you ask the same question, right? You ask the same question 10 times, you get 10 different answers. They're non-deterministic, right? But people were getting frustrated because they're like, well, these models are incredible, but we want, every time I ask for a proposal, I want it to be in this brand. I want it to be with these logos. I want it to be this way, and so on, right? And every time I want, a PDF, I want the PDF to be 2-page, and the first page I want my logo and hello and blah blah blah. And you can't do that with large language models, right? Because they're non-deterministic. So they decide maybe to put the logo somewhere, or they don't put the logo somewhere, and you get really pissed off, right? And a lot of people were getting pissed off. I know that, right? So they have now completely changed this, like not changed this, but they brought Claude Skills. Okay. So if you go on Claude, right, and you go on the bottom left and you come to your settings, okay, you go capabilities. Okay. And in capabilities, you have artifacts, which we just show, right? So AI powered artifacts is what I was telling you, right? So Claude being able to use the Claude API to do those things, right? So the artifacts is that little thing that happens where we can build mini applications. But then AI powered artifacts, as you can see, it uses the power of Claude API to do that, right? And then code execution and file creation, it says it on the tin, okay? And here now we're starting to get very, very exciting, because Claude also has memory, by the way, right? It has memory like ChatGPT, which is quite good, right? And what I love about this is that keeps building on the memory, right? Every time I do something, right? Every time I do something, it takes more information from whatever I've done, and it keeps adding it. It keeps adding it into its memory. So it keeps building this big context about me, right? In ChatGPT, it's a little bit different. You get each sentence or each paragraph separately, and you can delete them separately. So Claude is taking a different approach where it keeps building a context file about me, right? Which is very cool, all right? ChatGPT takes more little memories and builds a memory kind of bank, a memory library, but Claude builds a whole document about me, right? Different approaches. We'll see which one is going to be better, but I think that both of them are very cool, right? So now you see skills. Whoa, right? So what are skills? Okay, skills are basically they're folders, right? And I can show you actually how Claude explains that. Okay, which I really like how they explain it. If I can find that little graph that they have. But anyways, if not, I'll explain it to you. Okay. So Claude Skills is actually a folder, right? And in that folder, you have a README file. So that you have the skills file that talks about what the skill is. Okay. So it talks about this skill is about blah blah blah, and this is what it does, right? And so that gives Claude a good idea of which skill to pick up for what. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, uh, they had a really nice graph that would help us a ton. Um, if not, I'll kind of have to show you about it. But I wish we could find that little. I had a really nice graph about this. But anyways, let's just continue. Let's not waste our time, right? So there are little folders. Imagine it's a folder. It's actually a folder in your computer that has one file, which is called the file is the markdown file of the skill, right? And it explains briefly the name and then what the skill is, and then inside it has a lot more about what the skill should do. Okay, and what's very interesting is that because of just the title and the description, like the metadata, it doesn't take all the skills into context. It takes only the metadata into context, and if it finds a skill that is relevant to the task that the user is asking, right, to the prompt that the user is sending to Claude says, hold on, I have 6 skills and I have their description. Oh, this skill it fits the description, and then it takes the whole skill into context, right? So you're saving a lot of context window. You're saving a lot of memory, right? Not memory, but context with the token window, right? Which is great. Okay. And you can have very interesting skills because inside the skills, you can also have code, you can have scripts, you can have Python, JavaScript, you can have different types of scripts that does deterministic things, right? Because code is deterministic. You write the code once, it does that, right? Multiple times, okay? And basically, now you're using the large language model, which is non-deterministic, to find the skill to use. In that skill, it could have scripts, right? It could have different codes, different scripts that it needs to do, and it can also find resources inside it, right? So you can have a folder of all that stuff, right? Okay. So this is what's very important. Okay. And yeah, so it also helps with building context, and the prompt matters less because it already knows everything it needs to know. Yeah. So if you were asking about, like, I'll show you and then we'll come back here. Okay. And I'll show you one thing so you understand. So if I said here, build a quick LinkedIn carousel for AI operator, it should be 5 slides about why Claude is the coolest AI tool out there. Right. So very simple, okay? But watch what's going to happen, right? So I'm sending it, and Claude now is like, oh, hold on. I have a skill actually for AI operator branding. Okay. So it's going to say, oh, hold on. Tim asked me this. Is that I have access to a bunch of skills. I can just read the quick descriptions because I have the context of those, right? And it's going to be like, all right, I know that I have this skill to brand things. Okay. It's taking a little bit longer than expected, funny enough. But that's a good time for me. Here we go. Reading AI operator brand guidelines to ensure the carousel matches brand style. Where does it know that from? What it has a skill called AI operator brand. Yeah. And inside that, okay, so it's opening the skill. You can see skills user AI operator brand skill.md, the markdown file. Look, it just took the output, right? Which is the metadata I was telling you. This is just the metadata, the name and the description. Okay. And it's like, yeah, this is the right one. So then it start reading everything else, right? So what's our mission? What's our vision? What's our core values? What are our colors? What's our logo? Right. And it has all of this brand guideline, right? All of this brand guideline behind it. And it decided that it needed this skill to be able to do the task I asked it to do. How magical is this, right? And then as you can see, what it does is incredible because it took that and it said, okay, I'm installing required libraries for creating the carousel. So here it's taking Python PPTX, right? And what it's doing with that, it's creating a PPTX file, right? So that it's a carousel, okay? And it said, okay, I've installed this. I've created a Python script to generate a 5-slide LinkedIn carousel about why Claude is the coolest. Create Claude carousel pie. So it has created a Python code for that, right? Now it's running that code, right? So this is crazy, right? Because this is basically a creative body, which is Claude, right? Claude Sonnet 4.5 in this case, the large language model that is non-deterministic. Says, all right, they've asked me something. I could be creative, but I need very hard skills. Not just like creative soft skills, but I need hard skills, which is the logo. I need the resources. I need the brand colors. I need all that stuff, right? It takes that and it says, all right, well, cool. I can now build it. But what you can see, the white Claude is the coolest AI tool, right? You can see this is not perfect, and I'll tell you why. But as you can see, it's taking all the things, right? This is all creative, right? This is the large language model did all of this, and then the code put the things together, right? So it's done some things correct, right? So it's put our logo, right? It has my background, it has our font, it has everything very nicely. It just invented this little box, and I've had that before. I just have to tweak this inside my skill, by the way, right? So it's inventing this little box, but I can fix that, and I should fix this so that it doesn't do this again. As you can see, it's bringing that box because it wants to put my logo in there, right? And I did fix the first one, and I should talk to it that in each page it shouldn't do this, right? We can kind of fix this if you want together, right? If that interests you, right? But as you can see, this is perfect text, right? This is really one to master Claude for your team, right? Okay, a little bit maybe on the spacing. I should tell it, right? So that it knows these in the skill as well, and potentially here, if you have the orange background, use the dark logo and not the light logo, right? So I can hard code that into the skill and update my skill, right? But imagine this, right? That this is done, right? This is super cool. Okay. So maybe another 15 minutes of me fixing my skill, I won't have this box, right? And I would have my logo better everywhere, and then it's done, right? I have a skill that does brand guidelines, right? So if I said now create a 10 slide presentation so that I can present why Claude is the best for your team on a sales call, right? Make sure to use the branding again. Right. So now I'm going to use potentially the same skill, right, to now create presentation from it. Okay. But also, I could create a few other skills that could be called like, event banner. I could have a skill that was posters, a skill that was, many other different things I could think of. Right. And I could also tell, hey, do a poster, and it was like, oh, I have a poster skill, now I'm going to turn this into posters. Oh, I have a PowerPoint skill, I'm going to turn this into PowerPoint. I have whatever skill you build, it can call in these skills and it can do the work. So again, I repeat, the non-deterministic model, the creative model, does the creative part, but it has access to experts, right? Because it has code, resources, files, right? Expert skills in PowerPoint, in carousel, in brand guidelines, in whatever that is, right? And Claude says, all right, well, I need these skills right now. Let me call these in, and let me do these skills, right? Let me execute with these skills. Yeah, this is magic, by the way, right? I think that this is so like people undervalue this. They haven't realized the power of this, right? Even me, because I have a couple skills, but I should not sleep many nights and keep hashing out my skills, because this is absolute game changers, right? Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So hopefully that'll come in. But you can see it's calling other skills, right? It's also looking at some other documentation, right? Because it wants to understand stuff. Oh yeah, so that was because it wanted to create more content about Claude Code features, capabilities, and now it's created the 10 slides, as you can see, right? And now it's creating the PPTX file, which we're gonna have on the right side, and then here we go, right? So this is quite bad. All right, so we should now we learned this. Oh, look, you can take this. By the way, you can take the screenshot, you can put it here, it'll fix it. But what I would do is I will take the screenshots, and then I would go to the skill itself and I would update the skill, right? because we don't want this to happen. Like this is nice, this is nice, this is almost there, right? Okay, can do better on tables. We could also put that in the skill, right? Hey, if you have tables, do them like proper tables. I try this, right? So I can get this working because I know what's happening, right? Especially as I mentioned, you take screenshots, right? And you can even just drop the screenshot in here, right? And then you can say fix this. It will fix it, right? But what I would suggest is not to fix it each time. Instead, go and update your skill. Work on your skill. This was a draft skill that I did, right? I should spend some time with this skill, another maybe, as I said, 15-30 minutes, maybe maximum another hour, doing a few of iterations like this, finding the little mistakes, going back to where I built the skill or the chat thread that I built the skill, and tell it, hey, each time this is what's happening, I don't like this, don't do that, right? And it'll say, okay, well, not to do this, we need this, and it's all right, well, hard code that in the skill. Then I'll update the skill, and then I'll bring it up. Here we go. Look, I just put a screenshot and it fixed it, right? So imagine that I would do that in the skill so that I don't have this error again. Yeah, so that's how skills work, all right? So to create skills, basically there is a skill to create skills as well, by the way. How meta is that? I think it's super cool because you don't even have to worry about it, right? So basically, if you go capabilities and you have all the skills, these are some template skills. I created this AR operator brand skill, right, to test these things. And I think I did sales reporting skill maybe. But here, what you can see, there's a skill creator, right? So if you start a new chat and then you say, hey, I want to create a skill that helps me do PowerPoints, right? It's going to be like, oh, great. Okay, well, to create me a skill, I need to ask you a bunch of questions. It'll ask you the questions. You answer the question. It'll create the skill. It gives you a folder. You download that folder into your computer. It's a zip file, or sorry, it's a folder, and then you have to zip the file. You have to compress the file, and then you can upload your skill, right? So you need a zip file. You upload your skill, and then now it has access to that skill. It's that simple, actually, right? You use Claude. It calls in skill creator skill. You create the skill, gives you a folder. You download the folder. You come to your settings. You come to capabilities. You come to skills. You upload the skill. Right? Boom, you have a new skill. Right? Magic, absolutely magic stuff, right? Okay. I love this stuff. Skill is wicked. I should spend more time on skills, right? For sure, right? So we don't have too much time, so I want to show you some other cool things about Claude. And I think that Claude for Chrome is something that I think some people has chosen me to show, because I think that that's also super quite magical, right? So I'm just gonna come in here, and yeah, here you see actually this is Google's new thing, but don't worry about that, right? So let's just go to a website. Let's not go LinkedIn right now. Let's go to YouTube, right? That's a good one, right? Let's go to YouTube, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna view my channel here, okay? All right, and make sure to follow my channel, subscribe to my channel. Some cool videos are coming, right? Oh, that's picking up 19 VPH, 19 views per hour. That's perfect, right? So now on the top right, I have you're not gonna see this, so let me see if I can get you a window instead, because I want you to see what I'm doing here, right? So let's see. Hopefully you're gonna see this. Cool. So now I have a Chrome extension, which is my Claude for Chrome. Okay, and apparently it kicked me out, so I just need to log in quickly. I'm just gonna authorize it. That's done. All right, cool. Thank you very much. Right. So now, as you can see what happened on the top, this is magic, by the way. Right. So the second I call in Claude for Chrome from the Chrome extension, what it does, it kind of creates a group, right? This is a group that it creates. And because it's going to use this group, and it can use multi-tabs inside this group to do the work, right? And watch. Right. So Sonnet 4.5, you can switch to Haiku if you want to be faster. Sonnet 4.5 smarter, very good. This is basically now Claude has access to this tab, right? And can create more tabs inside this group. Watch this. Watch this. All right. Open up the last 5 YouTube videos of mine and read the descriptions, right? Put them all together, summarize them, and understand which ones are the most viewed. And from there on, give me the next 5 videos I should record. Oh, my screen share just left as I was doing that. So let me bring the screen share back. Don't worry. My screen share is coming back. Here we go. Hopefully it's not going to kick us out again. Oh, all right. My screen share. Okay, you can still see it? Okay, awesome. That's funny. I can't see it anymore, but if you guys can see it, that's perfect. Right? So let me know if ever you can't see it, right? So here we go. So we have what you'll see. I said open up, right? You can see this, right? Can you tell me here? Right, cool. So I'm gonna allow because it wants to. It basically did a plan, all right. And I'll navigating to YouTube channel and locating videos. Open each of the 5 videos in separate tabs. Read and collect description from all 5 videos. Identify view counts. Analyze content. Generate 5 recommended. I'm just gonna accept it all. Okay. This is magic. This is absolute magic, right? And this is just early days of this stuff, by the way, right? So as you can see, Claude has taken over. There's a little like an overlay kind of thing, right? Like a shining around it. Okay. And what it's doing is read page, take screenshot, find videos tab, right? And it's kind of doing this work. And you could go somewhere else, right? Oh, here you go. You see it's kind of switched the videos. It's going to decide on the last 5 videos now. Okay. It's going to hopefully open in separate tabs because I asked it to, or maybe it's going to try to do it in the same tab. But on the top, it can open as many tabs as it wants, and it can make sense of the tabs, which is really cool. This is why it kind of creates this this group, right? As you can see, it's doing some stuff, right? This is very cool. All right. It's pressing escape. Like let me zoom in maybe. Right. So it's clicking on things, right? It's telling you all this stuff here, by the way, right? It's telling you waiting. It's acting like a human. It's clicking on things. It's opening stuff. Oh, yeah, on the top. I don't know. Can you see my window still, right? It's opening the tabs. Yeah, it's opening the tabs, right? Boom. One is the YouTube tab where it's functioning. It's open automate Gmail, save 50K using GPTs, mastering agent kit, right? And it's opening all the different tabs. And inside these tabs, you don't have to see what's inside them. It's actually it's just like I can go to these tabs. It's basically it opened this one, right? It's open the other video is open the last 5 videos of mine, okay? And it's now opening the last one. I think it did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And now what it's going to do is going to read and collect description from all 5 videos. It's going to identify the view counts for each video, and then it's going to analyze the content patterns and performance metrics. And from there on, it's going to generate 5 recommended video topics based on analysis, right? Which is super cool, right? And this is the early days of like browser use, right? So we have ChatGPT Atlas, we have Perplexity Comet, we have Claude for Chrome as the Chrome extension. They didn't do their own browser, which I think makes even more sense in my opinion for now, right? Because ChatGPT Atlas, I think it's a mess. Perplexity Comet is a little bit better still. I don't think we're there yet, right? But with Gemini 3 Pro and what's coming next, I believe that we are going to get really good browser stuff as well very soon, right? But you can see that Claude for Chrome is actually working its way through this, right? It's taking screenshots, reading pages, scrolling down. And then it's going to do the next task, and you can see how it's done each task, right? So you can see that I gave it a goal. It broke it down into tasks. It took control of the window, right? It opened tabs, and it's doing the work. What else can I say? I mean, this is incredible, right? So this might take some time. It takes time, right? And it'll go do these things. So that's that. In the meantime, let me extension has too much permissions is the same. Well, Chartai, I think the extension doesn't have too much permissions because it has permissions on what's happening inside this group, right? And each time it does something, it actually asks you if you accept it or you don't accept it, or you can accept it for all, right? This is really up to you. What's your level of confidence, right? Of confidence, right? But Sonnet 4.5 is a very good model that it doesn't do anything risky, right? If it's going to do something that it can deem even 1% of risk, it asks you. It says, "Hey, I'm going to do this. Do you allow this action?" Do you always allow this action in this session, or do you decline this action? You saw in the beginning, I got those 3 options, right? So it's up to you what you want to allow it, right? So it's really, really up to you, by the way, right? So ChatGPT Atlas and so on, they're even Perplexity Comet a bit even more dangerous because it's the whole browser. Here is an extension that has a group that it creates, and it can only control these tabs inside the group, right? And the second I stop it and I close it, I can close the group. It's disappeared, right? It can't do anything else. Okay, awesome. So this is Claude. I mean, there's so much more on Claude. I think we should do another session on Claude. You should all bring your questions and so on, and use cases if you want, and we can do so much more on Claude. But this has been 57 minutes about Claude. Claude is very powerful. I recommend you to use Claude. But in about 2 weeks' time, we have our next session, which may come on the screen now. We'll have Zapier in action. I'm getting back into Zapier. Scan the QR code to subscribe. It's free, right? It's in 2 Fridays, I think, at the same time, same place, right? It's Friday, 5th of December, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Again, come with your questions. Come with what do you want to do in Zapier. Come with something you want me to build. I'm well open for it, right? And if I fail live. I love it, right? Okay. And if I win live, right? So we can kind of do it together, right? So please don't hesitate. And yes, we definitely will run other sessions on Claude, because I think Claude Skills especially is very powerful. Artifacts, you saw it. Claude projects is like ChatGPT projects. There's many things that Claude has, and I bet you till that next Claude session we might have Opus 4.5. We might have some new features, things like that, right? So the Zapier, I'm getting back into Zapier. Zapier got very powerful again, so I really suggest checking out our Zapier in action. I'll do some live stuff. We'll build some agents. We'll build some workflows, some zaps, they call it there. We'll build some stuff live for your business, right? And if you send me a message and you're like, I'm going to come to the session, I'd love you to build this for me, right? And if it's a really good use case, I'll build it live and I'll give it to you for free. How about that? Right? How about that? Okay. I'm getting in the festive season soon, because if you remember last year, was it last year? Yeah, I did a full free 5-day of Christmas, right? And there were 1 hour each day throughout Christmas week where I did live sessions for free, right? So we might do the same thing or something like that, right? So, but in the meantime, just let me know what you want to see. I'm happy to do all of this stuff. I enjoy it a lot. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Check out Claude. There's some free plans as well. Let me know how you get along. Come into Zapier in action next 2 weeks later, right? Scan that QR code. Send us a message. Follow our LinkedIn page, AI Operator, or mine. Follow us on YouTube. Follow my YouTube. Do all that stuff, and subscribe to our newsletter, to my newsletter, because that's where the real magic happens. This is where I share everything before even anyone, right? So that's weekly.aioperator.com. If you just put weekly.aioperator.com, that's the newsletter. I share everything there completely free before I even do any live sessions or anything like that, right? I think there's a QR code as well now, right? So scan that, see you there, and have an awesome weekend. Thank you so much.